Hi, this is Bobby at Copel TV Repair with a quick video today, not functionality proof, that may help some of you customers out there, maybe some of you technicians, maybe a little late considering this is something that has been going on for years and years, and it's actually not happening so much often with the newer generation devices, but anyhow, better 10 years later than never, I guess. The question that I want to answer is, we get asked often enough, how long does reballing or reflowing work? How long after you fix that is it going to happen again? How long is your warranty? That's a very different question. How long is the warranty? It's actually easier to answer, and the warranty does not guarantee that something will not fail. The warranty only guarantees that the vendor is the one who will be covering the remedy of the situation if something fails. Anyhow, how long does a reball or reflow lasts? The answer is it depends on a lot of things. There is no one simple answer that says this is how it's gonna do. Can it last as long as a brand new one? Usually I would say no, that is not likely. In some exceptional cases, reballing or reflowing can actually live longer, but maybe I should take a step back. Should I? I guess most of you who look at that know what a reballing is. There is a processor underneath here. I'm sorry, that's just any problem that doesn't belong here. There is a processor underneath this heatsink, and that processor on the back side has all those tiny balls known as ball grid array that are soldered. When they get heated up, they solder onto the small metal pads that are on the board. Shown those many times. Here's another board, and this is how the pads look like. So those small balls on the processor, when melted, get contact with the metal pads, and this is how soldering is done for the very big array of chips known as BGA. Those are BGAs, those are memory chips. This is the microprocessor. There are all kinds of chips that could be BGAs. And when time passes, sometimes those chips, which are lead-free for many years now, and lead-free solder is more prone to... Okay, maybe I shouldn't say that so definitely. It really depends on so many things. One of the most common reasons boards with those stop working is because they warp because of the heat. I have many videos that show that. When heated just in a certain area, the temperature coefficient of dissipation is different in different parts of that board, depending on so many things. It's a multi-layer board, there's other metal inside, and it's a very thin board. And it ages too, the PCB wafer itself. And the net result of all that is that it starts warping. And when it starts warping, whether this way or that way, there is a pressure on those balls. And it may sound strange, but it is a little by little for a long period of time. Warming up, cooling out, warming up, cooling off. And as a side interesting effect is TVs that have been on all the time are actually performing way better than TVs that have been through an on-off cycle, because that thermocycling thing adds to the whole process. But long story short is, one of the solutions for those boards is just heating it up to the point where those melt again. And there are tons of videos on YouTube showing you how people just toss those in their ovens at home and set them up to 360, 370 degrees and pull them out, and everything works magic. It doesn't work. It's not magic. It's not right to do it that way for a number of reasons. You need flux under the processor. You need good and proper and right flux. You need that flux to be not too much, not too little. If it's too little, it's going to be dry. Yes, it's going to work for a very short time. Plus, you need even heating everywhere, which actually an oven at home can do. But for many boards, you do need additional physical pressure for boards, and that's most boards that have already started warping. You need a way to level it back to actually one plane, because if it continues warping, which is what its natural behavior would be when you start warming it up all evenly in a flame, it may continue warping that way. And of course, if that is the case, this plane, if it doesn't match another plane underneath it, instead of that it meets a slope, it's not going to make a good contact. Or if it does, if it's going to do it for a very short time. So it's kind of like straightening a frame of a car. Think of it that way. You got to do it right. It's kind of different because of heat work doing the job of bending it in, but otherwise it is very, very similar, because it's physical process of applying force until you get something straight. And now, okay, you do that, you melt it properly or improperly, replace it or not replace it, you just warm it up until it melts. But then that board, when put back in the TV, is going to continue doing the same thing. And so many factors affect that. Some processors generate more heat than others. They wear out internally. The contacts that have been bent during the reflow add to that. They can generate more heat. Some of the contact between this heatsink and the processor, some service centers don't do anything. Some remove the old stuff. Some add something that is thicker. So many things can do. The LEDs, the panel can produce different type of heat to the board. And so some boards can live as short as 30 or 60 days. Others, like this one, this has been done on December of 18th. Today is 4th of June 2022. So this went for 3 years and a half nearly. That's a lot. And I saw that there was a different thing up here. But what I'm saying is we can't know upfront. And there is a whole other bunch of things that matter. We can take out the old processor. We can reball it with lead-free stuff. And that may or may not help. Lately, I've been doing a lot of boards that have been done by Nick's TV Repair. I think I mentioned in another few videos. There are a few around me here, and I'm not saying they've done a bad job. I've seen a lot of boards that they have been reballed. I will not go and say that they've done a bad job. It looks clean. There was yesterday a board, I think I just packaged it, a plasma board with the screws that they put on the edge. And they put silver heat transfer paste underneath, which is good. It's expensive. It tells me they care more about quality than, saving money. But long story short, again, for next time, the board that was here was serviced a year early, I believe. I can find somewhere the communication, and there was another one, and they do reball, which is strange. I would have preferred, actually, I did try both ways, and am of the opinion that I would prefer chips that were professionally reballed with lead-free solder from China rather than us reballing. Of course, we've done that so many times, it can work. But we've also had our own boards reball, just like I've seen the ones from Nick's TV Repair, with a lead-free solder. The balls there they look a little smaller. I have no way of measuring them currently, but they do look a little smaller. But anyhow, I've seen them return after about a year. And I don't know for sure whether the processor underneath is reflown or replaced. The best thing to do is to replace, but sometimes it is cost efficient. It really depends how the board looks like, how so many things at factor. And you can stretch anywhere from 3 months to 2, 3, 4 years. If we see that the board is very badly bent, we flat out reject doing it, or tell the customer, listen, there's a very high risk of this going wrong. I just don't do it. But just like anything else that is being repaired, well, almost anything else, there are certain repairs in which once you do it, it actually is better. I've done videos about the power boards, the plasma power board family being 44-00, 618, 619, 513, 514, 56, that have these problems developing because of the transistors. The transistors age once, the solder joints on the back go bad, with age, and because of the poor soldering and the very poor design on the Samsung port that leaves kind of like a half a millimeter edge around a very large hole. And anyhow, when done properly, this will actually live a whole lot longer than a new board. This is not exactly the case here. Even though, well, no matter how I slice and dice it, there's nothing that we do to actually improve. Maybe the heat dissipation, a newer processor which makes a better contact and produces less heat is definitely going to do better. But then again, it depends how much heat the LED screen produces. And that is it. The answer is there is no simple, straight answer. In, I would say, all cases, you're looking for less life than originally. There would be exceptions to that, but hopefully that helps. Thank you and best of luck.